Back with us on the SportsMax Zone. The America's Netball World Cup qualifying tournament is set for October 16 to 22 at the National Indoor Sports Center in Kingston, Jamaica. SportsMax will have live coverage of an event which will see the 9 teams playing 36 games in a league format. By virtue of being ranked number 3 in the world, hosts Jamaica have already qualified for the 2023 World Cup in Cape Town. The other 8 teams will battle for 2 qualifying spots, and we are pleased to be joined today by 2 representatives of the Trinidad and Tobago team, the coach Kemba Duncan and their captain Shaquanda Noelle. Kemba, Shaquanda, good afternoon. Welcome to the SportsMax Zone.
Good afternoon.
All right. Let me start with Coach. Kemba, today is the 27th of September, so 3 days, 16, 19, about 18 days until you are ready to get rolling. How have preparations gone so far?
It has been going good so far. We have actually like a positive energy happening with the players where they're very supportive and very competitive and really pushing each other. So I think that that's actually working out for us. And I mean, just returning from the CWG, it's about actually building in the little areas and now developing those combinations again.
Coming
so
out, you mentioned the Commonwealth Games, and I was going to go there because at least you got to get, the team was together for that important assignment, together before, together at the games, and so you have that recency of being together, if you can call it that. Does that give you an advantage as opposed to other times when you would have been scrambling to play high-level games to get you ready for a competition such as these World Cup qualifiers?
I think it does give an advantage in the sense that players now get a refresher of the level of competition and understanding of where we're going and how far where we at. So yeah, it does give us an advantage.
Yep. In the days until you leave TNT for Kingston, what do you have planned for the ladies? Do you have a camp? Do you have some competition? Do you have a men's team that you're playing against? Do you have a big enough pool that you can have good quality training games for the ladies who are coming to Jamaica? Give me an idea of the program of preparation between now and when you depart.
So yes, we do have a large pool which is competitive. We look forward to playing more against the men in the next 2 weeks. What we would be trying to do is at least get that consistency in games played per day, because we know in coming into the tournament, we're talking about playing 7 games in 5 days. So we want to get as close as possible to that competition where we have games played against the men.
Yeah, I want to go to Shaquanda pretty soon, but one more from Coach Kemba. Is there any significant change to the TNT roster from what we saw in Birmingham?
Well, we're still in the phase of actually building on the squad itself. So there's a possibility that we may have just probably few inclusion. There's a possibility, but the core would remain.
Yeah, and of course, Samantha Wallace is still hurt and unavailable.
Yes, she is.
All right.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Captain Shaquanda, can you talk to us about the Commonwealth Games experience? You had lost all of your group matches pretty badly, but then won the classification matches against Barbados and Northern Ireland. Is TNT improved now, pretty much 2 months on from your Commonwealth Games experience?
Oh, definitely. I think that it was definitely a learning experience, competition that we needed. We lost a lot of key players heading into the Commonwealth Games, and we knew that it would be tough, but we gained a lot of exposure, and we are back on the right track heading into the qualifiers.
Yeah, and can you talk to us quickly about, I know George asked it just now from the coach, but the Commonwealth Games experience was approximately 7 weeks to 2 months ago. How much has the squad enjoyed this period between the Commonwealth Games and preparing for the World Qualifiers? Because TNT are considered favourites to be among the top 2.
I think that we pretty much enjoy the grind. My coach probably looks as if she's very quiet easygoing person, but she turns the pressure on in training. And I think coming out of the Commonwealth Games experience, it was a wake-up call for us. And the girls are just ready and raring to go. We know the kind of work that we need to put in. We don't underestimate any of our opponents. We know that we need to work hard. So the environment right now is one where it's extremely competitive because every single person there wants to make the final 12. But also it's one where it's fun. We enjoy coming to training. We enjoy putting the work in.
Yeah, I know rankings are just something that rates teams on paper, but what happens on court will really count. TNT ranked 11th in the world, Barbados ranked 14th in the world, by far the top 2 rated teams in the tournament. So, logically speaking, Barbados and TNT are favourites to take the 2 spots available to qualify for the World Cup in South Africa next summer. Is that the way you're looking at it, and how seriously are you looking at some of the other teams like St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who from time to time can be pretty testing?
Oh, we don't underestimate any of the teams, and we know that after, as we called in Trinidad, the licking that we put on Barbados, that they would go back home and do their homework and will be coming fast. But St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, all of these teams, I think that they want a spot in the final 15 to go to World Cup. So we know that they will all be coming out, and we are putting in the work for every single team. We are doing our homework, researching what needs to be done, and we hope to take the top spot heading into the World Cup.
You were pretty emphatic there, Shaquanda, in your illustration of the licking that you put on Barbados. You seem to be enjoying that.
I am so competitive. I'm the most competitive person that I know. I look forward to competition. And I would hope that all the teams would bring their A game, because that is exactly what Trinidad and Tobago is going to be bringing.
Yeah. About your own personal game, Shaquanda, I know you play for the Celtic Dragon in the Vitality League in England. How much, from a developmental standpoint, has your experience in England been for you as an international player?
Oh, it has definitely changed my game. I think it was a complete 360 from the way I trained and played, both mentally and physically, the work that I put on, the discipline that I have as a player now. I think it has allowed me to come back home, I would say, a brand new person where I can lend my experience and knowledge to the girls. Coming out of the Commonwealth Games, I was able to come out on the top for most things on the leaderboard and the stats board, and that is something that I have to credit both to the league in England and my coaches back home as well. So it has definitely changed me as a player, and I like to consider myself a student of the game. So I look forward to continued learning and bringing my best game on court with my teammates.
Yeah, Coach Kemba, you referenced just now the possibility of maybe some changes because the team isn't finalized yet. One of TNT's most accomplished attacking players, Khalifa McCullin, for some reasons hadn't gone to the Commonwealth Games. Is she training, and is she up for selection? Not hearing you. Unmute your mic. Still not hearing Coach Kemba.
Right, sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Right, so presently, she is not in training with this squad at present. So I guess hopefully in the future that she will probably be available at a later date.
I know it probably isn't an issue you want to talk about too much, but the team would be stronger with her, wouldn't it be? In real terms.
Reality, I think that the team will be stronger with every training player that we have. I can't say for any one player in particular. As Shaquanda would have mentioned it, that we would have actually missed out on a couple of key players. So once everybody gets back on board and begin training, I would expect that the competition will increase again.
Coach, the TNT netball team, that golden period between 1979 and 1987. 79 joined world champions, 1983 third, 1987 joined second, and that has been the high water mark for netball in Trinidad and Tobago. The last 2 World Cups or World Championships, 9th for the TNT team. Is there a burden of expectation among netball lovers back home for you to climb close to the heady heights of that period between 79 and 87 once again?
I think if we want to be real, we would actually have to do this in period, right? So I think the team is in its rebuilding stage, and it's about that continuation and hopefully within reasonable time that we put in the work and be able to get back up to that.
Looking at the teams play at the Commonwealth Games, and we covered the Commonwealth Games, of course, here on SportsMax, so we were watching you in every game and analysing and how you measured up against the vaunted netball teams in the world, the teams that are setting the pace in world netball right now. Where do you think the biggest deficiency was? Was it on the technical side or was it on the team play physical side?
I think it was just I just think it was just based on experience and that awareness of the style of play, right? Because reality going into the tournament, we only had like about one player having that Commonwealth experience, and we know that experience goes a long way. So this would have been a form of exposure for most players, which I think was a good idea.
Is it that you, heading into the Commonwealth Games and given the level of the competition, that you spoke to the ladies to say, listen, we're going to have some tough periods, we're going to have some tough losses, so prepare yourself for that? And did they respond well as the tournament went on, even though they kept losing in the early stages? Did you get the sense that they were enjoying the experience, that they left Birmingham better players mentally heading into this assignment in Kingston in a few days' time?
One of the things that we always try to practice is to train for the unknown. And now, for some players, they would hear it, and it's Birmingham was about they actually getting to understand what the unknown was about. And so I think that players are now better equipped or have a better understanding and could now train with purpose. So we all would have learned from that tournament in Birmingham, so that we're now able to actually prepare better for the qualifiers.
Shaq, in Birmingham, Trinidad and Tobago, based on recent form, wasn't among the favourites for the medals or even the top 4 in the competition. The story is totally different now because, as Lance illustrated, yourselves and Barbados are expected to follow Jamaica to Cape Town for the World Cup. You have the bullseye on your back. Being in this new position now, relative to Birmingham, of being the hunted, as opposed to what your experience was in Birmingham, how are you bearing that responsibility, and how do you expect your teammates to carry the responsibility of being there to be shot at by the other teams?
I expect the girls to rise to the occasion. I mean, I'm no longer a junior player, I'm now a senior player and the captain of the team. And then until last qualifiers, I would have been a rookie on the team. Kemba Duncan, who is now the coach, would have been the senior defensive player at that time. And I think now it's my turn to lead the girls. I have quite a bit of experience under my belt. And to be honest, I think that the girls will definitely rise to the occasion. We know that we are the ones that every team wants to beat. And I think that puts a little bit more pressure on our backs, but it's good pressure, the one that you want to perform, you want to do well. We're not just playing for ourselves, we're playing for an entire country. We're playing for all the players that aren't able to make it for whatever reason. You're playing for the players who would have won the qualifiers years before. So we're coming out, and judging from the way that training is going right now, I think that we are in the best possible place to take on these qualifiers and come off as a top team.
Yeah, and finally, Kemba, in terms of fitness, I know for a fact that you will be going into the Kingston qualifiers a fitter unit than you went into Birmingham, by virtue of that physical fitness, that improved physical fitness. How are you expecting that to translate on the court in terms of the performance of your ladies?
Well, we would have tried to encourage that quick transition in that constant playing, so that we could build the match fitness. And so I think that each player is now equipped, because it's no surprise to us as to how slow we would have transitioned back then. Players now understand, and they're doing a good job with that in practice so far.
Excellent. And the last word goes to the captain. Shaq, what can you say to fans of the Calypso girls? Are you guaranteeing them the opportunity to watch TNT play in that Netball World Cup in Cape Town in 2023?
I, Shaquanda Noelle, I'm guaranteeing the fans of Trinidad and Tobago that the Calypso girls will be playing in South Africa. So I can advise people to go purchase their tickets now to go to South Africa in advance because we will be there.
Excellent. Kemba, Shaquanda, thank you very much, ladies. All the best. See you in a few weeks in Kingston.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Trinidad and Tobago netball confidence coming out of the camp, Lance.
I would take that bet as well, George.
Yeah, because they have the pedigree.
Yeah, 1-9.
They have the pedigree here to do
1-9 favorites.
Yeah, I take that.
Their biggest dangers are Barbados.
Yeah.
And they defeated Barbados 6-3, 31 at the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah.
So it pretty much is a shoo-in. You know that things are played on court or on field or so on, but TNT are safe.
I'm just saying,
Yes.
just imagine the TNT team with Wallace in it.
And Khalifa McCollin, George.
McCollin.
Coach Kemba was skillful in answering because I know she has players working with, and it doesn't make sense talking about players
Those who aren't
available
there,
because Khalifa had some studying issues and she apparently didn't. She was in conflict with the coaching staff and the management about how often she could train, or if she was allowed to play on the team without training the required days, and it got messy, and eventually she was not considered. But she, along with Samantha Wallace, on paper, are TNT's best attacking players. Yeah. She has been a pro playing in New Zealand or Australia, I think New Zealand. But they have to look past that because she isn't there.
But what they have,
yes,
they can get the job done.
Yeah, for sure. No question about it. They have a good squad.
Break time. Back with more on the SportsMax Zone. Confident captain, confident coach, TNT's netballers preparing for World Cup qualifying action in Jamaica.
Live on SportsMax.
Live on SportsMax, October 16 to 22.
Yeah.